I'm here today to give you a 5-minute lightning talk. I want to try to keep within my time limit, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to tell you a before versus after story about redesigning our website at my company to make it useful and informative to developers. So first, really quickly, a little bit about me. And oh, can you hear me in the back? Am I speaking properly? Good, cool. I started off my life as a developer, working on source code management tools, where you could create a workspace, make edits to your source files in private, and then resolve conflicts and merge your changes back in to, collaborate with your teammates. And I'm glad to say those kinds of platforms still matter today to the world of developers. And then I've done a whole bunch of other things in my career, including being an engineering manager for many years. But now I'm on the marketing side of things. And so I get to apply all my experiences as an engineer and as an engineering manager to what I do today. And the story I'm going to tell you is about the before versus after. Not on our whole website, because I only have 5 minutes, but on our homepage. And the key thing to notice in this picture is that it used to be a lot shorter, and now it's a lot longer. It used to answer many fewer questions. Now it tries to answer a lot more questions that people might have when they come to our website. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the process that went into that, and the assumptions that we made, and the decisions that we made in redesigning it. And the first set of assumptions were about developers and what developers cared about and what their mindsets were. And the first assumption was that they're busy and they want to find what they're looking for as fast as they can. And so what that meant is I had to make sure that the pages were scannable and browsable, and that you could find what you wanted without having to go through a series of clicks to find some hidden content. And that we also assumed that our visitors were skeptical, and so that meant we had to provide examples and proof points and give credibility and evidence for the information we were sharing. And then I think Erin, I wasn't here yesterday, unfortunately, but I think she talked about how developers have low tolerance for pretty much anything and everything. Did I get that right? That's what came through on Twitter. And but our assumption was that they have low tolerance for bad marketing. And some of my colleagues say they have low tolerance for any marketing, but my job title says marketing in it, so I'm going with bad marketing. And so that meant that our copy had to be in plain English and really written clearly and easy to understand with no unnecessary fluff or adjectives. So that's what we did. And then we had to think about the jobs to be done. What were the things that our website visitors were trying to do when they came to our website? So we figured out what all those things were, and we went ahead and put them into 3 buckets. Things they might do when they're first discovering us, things they might do when they're kicking the tires, downloading open source, or things that they might do when they're ready to take action. And then once we had all those things figured out, we had to dissect the page that we had, understand its analytics, understand what its components were and what it was doing well, and then figure out what was missing. And these are all the things that were missing. And I don't have time to talk to you about all of them because I just got a 1-minute flag. But I'll tell you, like one of them, for example, Citus has a pretty unique relationship to Postgres, and we weren't telling that story on the homepage. Citus is Postgres. It's not some newfangled database. And so we had to find a way to add that section in, for example, along with all these other sections, and along with the Alicorn. And then we had to improve our UI, and our #1 goal there in working with the designers is to make sure we had responsive design so that the page would work well, regardless of whether you were on your phone, on the train, on the way home, or on a tablet at home while you're taking care of your kids, or on your desktop at the office. And we wanted to have more content on the page, so content wasn't hidden behind clicks, hidden on subpages. And overall, our main goal, and we love coffee, so I had to put this picture up there. Our main goal was to use design, use layout, use information architecture in order to make it a more delightful experience for our developers, with the guiding principles of making it useful and informative. So everything on there had to be helpful in that way. So we came up with our requirements. I had to write up requirements for each and every blade that we were adding on the page, so my designer knew what he was designing for. He created multiple iterations of wireframes. We finally picked one, and then 3 different iterations of design mockups. And interestingly enough, not unlike engineering, we ended up picking one that we thought would do the job, that would get us to the finish line more quickly. The one in the middle was really playful, and everybody liked it, but we realized that all those little drawings were going to take a lot of iteration to get right, to make sure they didn't offend anybody, to make sure they didn't accidentally mimic somebody else's drawings. So we went with the approach on the right, and now we've got a living, evolving website. We launched it last fall, and we continue to update it based on feedback we get from developers. And my #1 message to all of you is if you ever need to embark on redesigning a website to make it really valuable to developers, have empathy. That was our guiding true north the whole way through. And that's what caused us to focus on being useful, being informative, having a conversational voice throughout, and making sure that everything on the page has some valuable purpose. I hope this is useful. I have some socks for those of you who like socks. And thank you very much for your time today. Ciao.